Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to complete your UC application. You're going to learn what you need to apply to a UC school as well as important deadlines that are coming up. So to be eligible for a UC school you need to have completed all of your A through G course requirements with a C or better. You must have a minimum 3.0 GPA. You must have taken the SATs or ACTs, and in some cases, depending on the major, you also need to complete the SAT subject test. So the application window for UC's opened October 1st and the application deadline is November 30th, which is coming up. Now let's head over to universityofcalifornia.edu/apply to get started. Now before you click on the Apply Now button here, you should definitely read through the How to Apply page, which explains exactly what you'll need to apply, such as transcripts, test scores, and information about your family income. So after you've read through this page, you'll go ahead and click on Apply Now. The first thing you'll do is create a new account. You'll just have to enter an appropriate email address and password that you can keep handy. And they'll also ask you for some other very basic information. And then you will be taken to this screen where you can start your application. So next you'll select which semester you're applying for and what you're applying as. Most of you will be applying for the fall semester as freshmen. Then it'll ask you to confirm your choice. You'll be asked to enter some information such as your mailing address and phone number. Go ahead and enter that up here. You'll click here to confirm that that is indeed your mailing address. Here you'll check off if your permanent address is the same as your current mailing address, and it'll just populate there. It'll ask you for your phone number here. You'll also indicate if you authorize text messages to this number. You'll enter an alternate number down here if you have one, and then you'll click Next. This next section asks about your California residency, which is what determines whether you'll be paying in or out-of-state tuition. So we'll go ahead and click Yes here, but in case you were to click No, you'll see that there are other prompts that will appear, and it'll ask you to kind of clarify. We'll go ahead and click Yes to continue. You'll see up here that it says, have you attended a California high school for 3 or more years? As long as you have lived in California and attended high school in California for 3 consecutive years, then you are considered a California resident. So you would check off Yes here. You can also click on some of the sections here to the right, which will clarify any possible questions that you have. Next, you'll be asked about your birth country as well as citizenship and a social security number if you have one. But remember, if you don't have a social security number, you can still move forward with the application. Just note, if you are an AB 540 student, you will have to complete the California Dream Act application, which can be found at this website, csac.ca.gov, which will open you up to state grants and scholarships. So that's very, very important. Now you get to select the UC campuses to which you will apply. Remember, you only have to complete one application, which will be sent to all the campuses that you select. Each application is $70, but you can apply for a fee waiver. If you qualify, then you get up to 4 applications waived. So we're going to go ahead and select 4 colleges here and click Next. Be sure to apply broadly. Apply to both reach and safety schools to increase your chances for admission. Next, you'll be asked to enter your primary and alternate majors. Each UC campus has different schools within the campus, so you'll have to click through the different schools to find your major. For more information, a description will pop up when you hover over each major. So you'll just repeat this process for every UC campus that you see here. You'll have to click through each school to find the major that you're interested in and select that major. And you can see here that you can select a major and an alternate major. Once you've completed the process for all of the different campuses, you'll be able to review all of the majors that you selected, your primary major as well as your alternate major, and you can edit those and change them as well. The next page gives you an opportunity to apply for scholarships. You don't want to skip this section. If you have any doubts about your chances of getting scholarships, you just want to err on the side of applying. Check all the boxes that apply to you. You can select up to 16 categories. So the way it works is you'd click on academic major or specialty, and if you're interested in any scholarships surrounding any of these topics, then just check off next to them. And you may want to look through all of them because there are some scholarships you may have never even considered, and you want to make sure that you rule out all of your possibilities. This section could mean the difference of hundreds to thousands of dollars in your financial aid package, so you don't want to take it lightly. Again, if you have any further questions about any of the sections, you can always refer to the right here where they have listed some of the most common questions and answers. The next few sections ask more questions about you. You'll need to input what language you speak, if you've ever been in the military or foster care. And again, this is an area you don't want to skip. It could mean the difference of additional scholarship or grant if you do qualify for one of these sections. The EOP program is the Educational Opportunity Program, which provides all kinds of great services from free tutoring to financial assistance with books to counseling. And this program is geared towards low-income students or first-generation students. So if you think you may qualify, you definitely want to check off this box, and it will prompt you to just write a brief statement about why you think you may qualify and why you're applying. On this next page, you'll be indicating your parents' information, their current job category and title, highest level of education. In case you're wondering why you're having to fill this kind of information out, just remember that the admissions evaluators are trying to get an all-around picture of who you are, and they want to know, do you come from a single parent home, or were there two parents, and what is the level of education? Is it really a milestone that you are maybe going to be the first one in your family to go off to college? So this section is important. The family size and income section isn't mandatory, but if you're applying for a fee waiver or the EOP program, you must complete this section. Make sure to enter accurate information, as this will determine whether you are eligible for a fee waiver. You are going to need to know your family's estimated total household income, and you'll be entering that there, and this is really what's going to qualify you for the fee waiver. Just quickly notice that this time I tried to move on and it wouldn't let me. Anytime you haven't accurately completed any of the sections, it won't let you move on. You will have to make sure that you have filled out all of the different sections. The next section is academic history, where you'll enter all of your A through G coursework, and this is where you're going to need to pull out your transcript. So I highly recommend reading through the introduction section here. You definitely want to be thorough under the academic history. In this section, you'll be asked to enter any math courses that you took in 7th or 8th grade. You'll also be asked to enter any foreign language courses that you took in middle school. So you'll go ahead and list that down here, and you'll just indicate the number of semesters. If you've ever studied internationally, you'll input that information here. And on the next page, you'll be asked to enter all of the high schools that you've attended. You'll enter your school code here, or school name. If you start to type in the name of the school, you'll see that it should pop up here, so we'll go ahead and select that school. You'll click add, and then you'll see a number of prompts again that you'll need to answer. So once you've entered your school, you will be asked to input the number of years that you attended that school, what type of program the school was. So in this case, we selected magnet. You'll be asked the kind of diploma that you'll be receiving. You'll also be asked about the grading system. So if you need clarification on your school's grading system, make sure that you ask your counselor. So on the next page, if you have attended more than one high school, you can just add any additional high schools here. Next, you'll be entering all of the courses that you completed. Once you click on the subject here, you'll see a number of classes that you can just check off. It'll ask you the grade that you received in that course. So you're going to just repeat this process for every subject: foreign language, visual performing arts, and so on. Once you've reached your senior year, just note that you will be able to indicate whether or not you plan on taking the course. So you can select in progress or planned when you click on the course here. So if you've taken college classes in high school, you'll list them here. If you click yes, you'll just be asked to enter the state where you attended the community college as well as the college name. The additional comment section is where you can explain what I call any chinks in your armor. Was there a reason that you got a bad grade in one of your classes? Was there a special circumstance that you faced in high school? What is it that you may want the evaluator to know that's beyond the grades that you received? So you want to keep it short and focused on the positive, but definitely use this section if you need to. Once you've completed the academic section, you'll have a chance to review all of the information that you entered, and you can go back and edit things as well. So moving on to the activities and awards section, this is really a time for you to break out that brag sheet and highlight any major accomplishments and your leadership abilities, who you are outside of academics. What are you passionate about? What are you committed to? What might you bring with you onto the school campus? So this section is really quite important. And if you're having a hard time trying to nail down some activities or things that you participated in, just think back to all the little things that you might have done in high school outside of the scope of just the classroom. So the first tab under activities and awards is where you can list any courses that you took other than the A through G courses like journalism or leadership. So the next section here is educational prep programs. Some of you may have participated in the Upward Bound program or ETS. This is where you'll want to list that program, and you'll notice here as you click on it that you'll be able to enter up to 5 programs, and it will give you some ideas of what those programs might be. And we can go on to the next section, which is where you can list any volunteer and community service that you might have done. And in these sections where you have to describe your involvement, you really want to show how you serve in a leadership capacity. Next, you'll be able to add work experience. And again, this is valuable information. Maybe your grades weren't, as stellar as they could be because you have to maintain a part-time job and maybe help contribute to the family. So this is all really valuable information. Again, we're able to list a description. Don't be vague. Don't just say, oh, I worked in retail. Really specify what you did and any kind of accomplishments or milestones that you reached while you were in that position. In this section, you'll be able to list any honors and awards that you received. They give you some examples here. Maybe you won the academic decathlon. Maybe you won an award for a culinary arts show. And you really want to think about all the different certificates and acknowledgments that you got throughout high school. And you can add up to 5 awards and honors. Under extracurricular activities, you may enter up to 5 activities. You'll want to enter the activity name, the year that you were involved, how much time you devoted to the activity. And again, I hate to keep harping on this, but don't just list that you were a member of the student council. Instead, indicate, were you responsible for raising a certain amount of money? Or did you help your team come up with a great solution to a challenge? You just want to be very specific. Once again, you'll be able to review this entire section before moving on and edit any of the areas that you might have found errors. So the next page will ask you for your test scores. You'll be asked to enter 1 score for each test, so be sure that it's your best score. If we select SAT Reasoning, you'll see here that it will ask you when you took the test and your score for critical reading, math, and writing, and if you plan to take or retake the test. If you just recently took the test, you'll be able to check off here where it says I have not received my scores yet. You'll also see a prompt that will pop up indicating that regardless of what you fill out here, you still need to have your official test scores sent from the College Board to all of the campuses to which you're applying. They will not just accept the information that you input here. Here you'll be able to input any scores that you got on the subject test. Earlier I mentioned that while the UCs don't require the subject test, there are some majors such as engineering and some of the science majors that do want to see your subject test scores, so this is where you'll input them. You'll also be able to add any AP scores here. If your school had an IB program, then you'll input your IB exam scores here. The TOEFL section is for students who may have completed studies in a language other than English, so that's where you'll input these scores. So before moving on to personal statement, you'll want to review your test scores, make sure you input all of the information accurately. Alright, the final stretch of the application is the personal statement. For the personal statement, you want to read this page thoroughly. More than anything, the colleges just want to see that you can follow through with accurately completing your application, especially with the personal statement. You want to show that you've really been attentive to the questions and you really have follow through with what they're asking for. So the first question says, describe the world you come from. For example, your family, community, or school, and tell us how your world has shaped your dreams and aspirations. So this is a pretty broad question, and it can kind of open the door for one of the biggest personal statement disasters, and that's trying to fit your whole life into this one essay. They really don't want to see, a timeline of just events of your life. You might want to pick one or a few different ideas or metaphors or things that you can use to really paint the picture of the world that you come from. The second prompt here says, tell us about a personal quality, talent, accomplishment, contribution, or experience that is important to you. What about this quality or accomplishment makes you proud, and how does it relate to the person you are? So this is a chance for you to get a little bit more personal, really draw the reader into your mind, into your life, and talk about something unique, something that will really make you stand apart from the masses. So I wanted to show you a couple of websites that you can visit where you can see actual personal statements submitted by students. These are students who had very successful essays, and I like these sites because you can get a sense of all the different directions you can take with an essay, whether you take the more traditional kind of linear approach, or where you take an event or an experience in your life and you work backwards. There's so many different things that you can do with your personal statement, but the main goal being that you just want it to be a cliffhanger. You want the reader to really be drawn in and want to keep reading. So if you just Google John Hopkins essays that worked, you'll be able to find this site here. And again, you can click on some of the different essays that were submitted by students and read through them. What I also like about this site is you can read the essay here, and then you can read actual comments by the evaluators, so you can get a sense of what evaluators are looking for. And so again, great resources for personal statements. Coming back over here, we have our two prompts. You want to make sure that you stay within the word count. You want to check for any kind of grammatical errors and really make sure that your essay is polished. Just remember too that this personal statement is going to be sent to all the different campuses, so you don't want to talk about anything really specific to one campus because it is a general essay that will be sent to all of them. You'll see here that there's an additional comment section here. Again, if there's anything else that you want the evaluators to know about you, this is an area where you can offer any additional thoughts that you might have that you didn't get to mention elsewhere. Finally, you'll have the chance to review your entire application before submitting. And once you've completed all of the different sections, then you'll be able to click here to start the submission process. Once you're able to start the submission process, though, you'll be asked for some basic questions about your ethnicity. In the last section, you'll be able to pay for your application or apply for the fee waiver, and you'll be asked to confirm your submission, and you're done. So you want to make sure that you click submit and print out the receipt page as proof of your submission. And finally, be sure to check your email. The schools may send out requests for additional information. You want to always check your email and make sure that you're not missing any kinds of important notices. So it's definitely important to just stay on top of your email. So now I want you to take action. So if you haven't already, we are really down to the wire here. I want you to head over to the UC application site and create your account. Be sure to keep your password handy, and good luck with your application. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always head over to Next Generation Graduate on Facebook and click like and post any questions that you might have, and I'll be happy to answer them. Talk to you soon.